please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Every month this year has been an absolute pain in the backside to Bill, and invariably much gets left out. October is going to be no exception. So the way we're going to tackle this is we're going to look at the videos she released, because that tickles me. We're also going to look at key clips from streams that were shared to Twitter, because that removes the obligation of going through the rather large amount of content she pumps out, doing the same denial, anger, aggression, sharing too much, rinse, repeat, and eating. This month is supposed to be the month of health for Chantal. We'll see how that goes, with her claimed weight starting and how she ends it. All of which is shared in her videos because, as you can see from the thumbnails, she didn't do any fast food mukbangs. That's not to say she didn't eat fast food, just that she claims she didn't and did not seek to monetize any content or create any content that featured Burger King Chicken Royales. So let's dive into the first video of the month.
Just a little bit of an update with how I'm doing. For those of you who don't know, I suffer from binge eating disorder and food addiction, and I have been this way for as long as I can remember in my life. You know, even as a kid, I was always obsessed with food in a very unhealthy way.
Chantal spends the majority of this video weaving a tale of absolute nonsense, in that she is giving up control of what she eats on a daily basis because of her disorder to that of Salah.
So yes, so he's a lot more involved than before.
No one believes for a moment that this is true. The fact she can so brazenly look the camera directly down the lens and say that this is what she's doing impresses most people. And in the scope of what Chantal does, this is no different to her usual routine. Now, as we're going down a path of a weight loss journey, we're going to need a base weight, somewhere where she can start and then lead by example throughout the course of the month to show us she is finally starting to do what she's never been able to do before. The second video is where we get the weight. And no, I don't believe the weight for a moment, but we'll entertain it for a laugh because I know what she weighs at the end of the month.
Alright guys, so here's a weigh-in. Don't mind the blurring, it's just, you know, I don't want you guys to see my silhouette. The scale is reflective, but I'm just showing you guys that my scale cannot be tampered with. There's no tear option or anything like that.
Based on the weight we see in that weigh-in at the start of the second video she released in the month of October, she weighs 338 pounds. I do not personally believe that is what Chantal weighs, and those scales only go up to 180 kg, she weighs 153.4, allegedly. The reason she went on to show that this can't be tampered with is because she is often accused of tampering with scales. I'm somewhat impressed she uses those scales and not something a bit more accurate, or perhaps something that can tether via Bluetooth to an app on your phone, which is actually quite common now, certainly for those who want to be open and transparent. Your weigh-ins are about as reliable as that of Amberlynn Reid, where she puts the camera facing towards the ceiling, or did, before she got with that feeder.
So what I'm kind of doing, I don't even want to label it. I'm just aiming for no binge eating, and eating, I don't know, like eating less, I guess. Eating less. I'm not totally depriving myself.
These comments, along with her weigh-in, are important because we'll get to her weigh-in at the end of the month to see the progress she's made within the period of 21 to 28 days. Now, she follows this video up with another weigh-in in another video. Weigh-ins are more frequent over the course of this month in video form anyway. Featuring her husband in a capacity still does not change the long-held belief that you, for nearly 2 years at this point, are faking an entire marriage to make it seem like you are somehow removed from the very people you're also going to be speaking about later. The haters! Because yes, you are going to go in on 2 of them and nada. Later anyway.
Hi guys, all right, I'm ready to do my weigh-in, and Salah will film me this morning, and yeah, so let's get to. All right, 0. All right, what's it say?
So as you can see, Chantal has managed to lose 1 kilo of weight within the space of one video. Progress. We're going to indulge this, guys. Alright, humour me if you will, as we continue down the path of the weight loss journey, Mariam Queen Bisa.
Yeah, you can see my new treadmill in the background overlooking the Gulf Sea, and I did try it and everything is fine. Works very well, and it seems to hold my weight well enough. But I'm going to be doing a live, 10-minute workout on it.
When it comes to Chantal doing any form of workout, take it with a grain of salt. Don't bother criticising the form too much, because form only exists for those who take it seriously. For those that use it as a novelty to make it seem like they're doing something, no. Now, she does do a video, 2 in the future from this one, where she does treadmill dancing for weight loss. I thought I'd play that so we can see that form and not judge too harshly.
Do you want, we might need the table.
No, maybe here. It's fine, don't worry.
My head's cut off. His head's cut off. There's a pillow fort on top of the stand.
A mountain of pillows.
Now, I've turned the audio off while it's playing because it's Beverly Hill Cop. I can't tell if it's the Crazy Frog version, but it's basically just somebody playing on a keyboard, so it could just be Doodah behind the camera. Salah, is that his name? Yes. He does like to play the keyboard, and apparently we all need to know one tune over and over again, remixed repeatedly for 10 minutes. Chantal does do walking on the starter setting. No doubt within a day or two, much like her previous attempts at using the gym, she'll put her back out. But we all have faith, right? In something. My faith is in her failure, because that's what Chantal's good at. Now, because Chantal likes to keep up appearances and totally takes this all seriously, we of course in the very next upload have to get a cheat meal. No offense intended here, Chantal, but at no point do you require a cheat meal yet. You've got to make some actual inroads to understand why those cheat meals are called cheat meals. It's not a, I've done one thing, I've earned my reward situation type deal moment. Yes, so her cheat meal was bigger than her head. You should be so proud of yourself. I'm sure you rationed it out and made it last time. In this instance, the quantifiable number for time is not long, which is an empirical number, like your weight.
Anyway. I mean, I'm happy, I just can't.
Yes, I would say that's buyer's remorse, but we all know Chantal likes to act it up. For this video, we're going to skip over the video where she talks about trying on clothes she didn't fit into and go to her next weigh-in.
I did my weigh-in today thinking that it was weigh-in day, so I'm going to insert my weigh-in here.
So over a period of 2 weeks, she has managed to drop 5 pounds in weight. This is important. This is progress. Congratulations to you, Chantal, for making steady inroads into your weight loss journey. If we are to believe that you weigh this to begin with, most of world do not believe it to be the case. However, we're going to indulge this, humour it, as it were. The rest of the video is irrelevant to us, because she just prattles on, like I do. But in the context of this, not relevant in the slightest. We're instead going to go to the Can't Sleep Too Hungry Weight Loss Struggles video, which is the penultimate video that we're going to cover today. I should also point out, between that video and her weigh-in Wednesday, there is a 9-day gap. This gap is important. It certainly explains why she streamed more, almost like she quit. But we'll do the first video, and then we'll get to that last one.
So I'm using my microphone so I can talk low because my husband Salah is sleeping. So I actually did decide to stick to calorie counting, but I decided to change the settings in my MyFitnessPal to a less strict setting.
Well, of course you did. If you're incapable of maintaining a level of consistency or handling the satiety, you're going to make it easier on yourself, inserting your own little cheat code, I guess. Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. Am I right, folks? Okay. The last video within this part of the video we're doing, this segment, will concern her final weigh-in. She's lost 5 pounds so far this month. Let's see how she's getting on in the final video for the month.
So the amount of calories burned is actually inaccurate. I use calculator.net to calculate from my body weight how many calories I would burn in 15 minutes of moderate walking, and it's actually 103 calories burned.
So yes, Chantal lost absolutely nothing during the month of October. It gets more amusing really because the gap of 9 days, there were videos there. One in particular, which we may have to find clips of if possible, concerning the haters. But Chantal has undone it in video form, claiming she was doing things to improve her life by simply eating whatever she wanted, which she had to have been doing to put the weight back on. Let's not forget here, she does nothing. She may cite being on the treadmill briefly and doing a little cardio, but the bish loves her carbs, which become, what do they become again? Chemistry and biology aren't my thing, but they become something in the body, and her body holds on to everything. So now, we're going to go to the videos she's deleted, because the haters got a pasting from her, of course. Chantal is victorious in all things she does. We should probably have a look at those, since they've been deleted after all, and the internet is forever. I should probably insert before that, there are 3 videos I know of that she deleted over the course of the month. One aimed at Yaba and Sam, one aimed at FFG, and the third one aimed at a former Beezer called Aisha. We'll go to the FFG video first.
Alright, hi guys. So I'm gonna have dinner with you guys. I'm gonna warn you that you're not gonna like this version of me. I'm out for blood today.
I see we found our takeaway. How marvellous. I'm so proud of you. You finally found your testicles, as if you don't do this all the time. Bite, recoil when you get blowback, and then remove. All videos I'm going to show you have been removed from the Foodie Beauty channel. And if it wasn't for the fact that copyright does exist and it would be wrong for me to do it, I'd be half tempted just to re-upload all of them as they are. Archive channels, they do exist, so I don't have to worry too much.
And I'm fighting fire with fire today. I've had enough, and I want to talk. So,
you know, the best way you could resolve many of the issues you have with many of those haters would actually be on a moderated show. A third party where both of you can go on, or you and or the other haters can go on, say your piece, listen to the opposition. The moderator can mute you so you don't interrupt each other. But there's the thing, not one of you involved, and I don't care if anyone hates me for saying this, not one of you would want to resolve your differences, because that doesn't feed you. And that's the biggest problem with a number of people within this sphere. There's no problem solving, only screeching. The poisoning of the well has continued for 2 years now. And I say 2 years because of the crap I got last year for dunking on FFG. I was right, and many of you know it. So surely, if you really want to fight fire with fire, you're only doing it because it drums up additional interest in your content. Because you need to catch up on the views some of your haters get discussing. And at this point, FFG gets double the views you get, talking exclusively about you, something which undoubtedly gets under your skin. I've made it clear that I still get more video views than you do covering you, but to be honest, you're not worth anywhere near as much effort as others are, because there's so much going on in your career, in your life, it's impossible to cover it all in a video anyway, and it gets exhausting. Hence why you are no longer worthy at this point now an avatar. You're getting a still image and that's it. The only reason this video exists is because it drew interest to you from FFG's community, which meant FFG could respond to it. Again, more traffic your way. Then you delete it because you want to appear to be better. Hence why the videos this month that are still available are cultivated. Although I'm impressed you'd leave the one up where it proves you failed your entire weight loss target for the month.
I posted on my community tab a picture of FFG's, FFG, I'm gonna refer to her as Slimer, okay? Of Slimer's deceased mother on my community tab. And you're probably thinking, what piece of shit would post someone's deceased mother on their community tab, and why?
Really, Chantal? That's what you did? I'm going to stand by my earlier comments about content farming, but I'm now going to change my position. All the flack you get because of that, you deserve. There are certain lines I will not cross, and much like, as you've dubbed her, Slimer, I've lost my mother. If someone posted a picture of her to their social pages, I would be apoplectic. It would be a case of a race to see who got to that person first, myself or my sisters. I'm sorry, but there is no justification for posting a mum. Don't do that. I know that many want to point at FFG and the relationship she had with her mother. That's totally fine, but my line in the sand is absolute. We don't do that. We will play Chantal's justification before we continue, the second video of which will be about her ex-Biza Aisha. So here's the clip of justification.
I'm gonna remind you, everything that this vile monster of a human being, if you can call it that. Yes, I'm dehumanizing her like she dehumanizes me. I want to make it clear, I have no sympathy, I have no care, no empathy, I have nothing but black hatred for this person.
And now we're going to move on.
Welcome back to another drama-filled video. So again, if drama is not your thing, you prefer my more positive content, please feel free to skip this one because you probably won't know what I'm talking about anyway.
Well, that's a load of bollocks. Anyone that pays attention to you and your diminished channel knows everything about you. They know everything about your life, everything about your body. They know what goes into it, what comes out of it. They know what resides within the creases of it. All of them. They know what angles you look like. They know how many angles you have. They know what rock climbers can successfully reach the summit of you. And they know the people that picked the dingleberries out of your boot. Hey! Somewhat surprised they're not on a Christmas card list somewhere.
You probably don't want to know either. Which is dishonest. And then they switch sides and try to suck up to the other side, my haters. And they become one of the biggest haters themselves. And hypocrites, as I'm going to point out today.
The point of this video is a rather interesting series of back and forth between Chantal, Aisha and Salah. Aisha even reached out to Salah to try and get him to intervene to protect Chantal, allegedly. Aisha accused Chantal of catfishing on Telegram. I have no idea how Telegram works, so I don't know if there's any truth to any of that. Now, after much obfuscating and gaslighting,
I just wanted
Chantal
you to
gets
know.
to one question.
And P.S.
that
I won't say that, but
because it was
there
the
you
first
go.
time in the entire video where she fumbled.
And here's my... Alright, Boba Bunny asked, do you know if he has gotten approved to go to Canada? If so, are they planning a trip there? She cannot bring him to Canada, Aisha says. She found out that her financial issues in Canada automatically denies the visa. You guys can message Boundless Immigration and they'll tell you everything they told her. So, not only is this person being super invasive and looking into the immigration rules, blah, blah, blah. Number one, you don't know the full situation. You don't know my full situation. You don't know. Anyone can look this up, yes. But again, how do you even know anything? Like, how do you even know we even want to go to Canada?
The short answer to that is your own relationship track record proves you pretty much like to import your dudes. And they invariably leave you. The final video of the 3 deleted drama-related concerns Yaba, Sam, and Nada.
touches down in Ottawa. She said she came there for cooking. No. See, now May is also a liar. PG, if that's what May is saying the whole thing was about, was to come there for his cooking, she's a fucking liar. You remember this, but like, was it proven? How was it proven? Do you recall? Okay, so if you look just at these messages in the video that Dee Dee put out, it seems very simple an explanation that May is a nutter. She's also old, okay?
You know what's wild? To know what kind of piece of shit that Natter is, right? And then to go to the partner of Natter to get the truth. Does that make any goddamn sense at all? No, it doesn't.
Like 60-something years in her 60s, right? She looks like a nutter. Like, there's a short video, like just a 2-second video, I guess, from the airport, selfie style, that May took and sent to Nutter. You can tell just from that little short little video clip of her in the airport that she's old AF and she's a nutter.
Okay, so people that look like they're old as a nutter cannot possibly be assaulted. Okay?
At this point in the year, the subject concerning Nada and May, I believe, was involving a courtroom, and at this point in the year had not yet gone to trial. It had been given multiple continuances. But it's nice to hear an opinion that if you're old and a bit crazy, that you can't be the victim of a crime. Chantal deleted this video. She deleted all the drama videos, because that's what she does. So what does Chantal have to say about it?
Scabba, Doo-Doo, and Greasy Scamantha, you need to take the L on this one, okay? You have the nerve, the audacity, you greasy hypocrites. You have the nerve to compare what happened with Cowbella to your baby daddy, Jesse, S.A.ing a child. His own stepdaughter. You have the nerve. Here's the difference, because I know you're a little slow. That's fine. One act was 2 consensual adults in a fantasy situation, okay? People have different fetishes and fantasies.
What's interesting to me is you are providing a direct response, but the clip you started with isn't related to that part. I don't think you know how to do this. But okay, let's see what else is said.
There's just none. It's just stupidity at this point. Another point is you like to deflect. And one of the main things you and FF Ghoul like to deflect on is bringing up Natterd. Even though it's been, like 3 years since I've seen his jacked up mouth anywhere near me? And you have the nerve to bring up old past things. But since you brought it up with the May situation, making me look like a SA offender, number one, at the time that happened, the whole thing, I had no idea about it till after it happened. 2, Natterd is a manipulative narcissist. He lied to me about the situation, and I believed him because I had no reason at the time not to, because our relationship was still new and I had no experience with somebody like this coming out of a pretty wholesome relationship. You wouldn't know the amount of women who tried to reach out to Natterd at that point.
In truth, I don't know in this instance who was in the right or wrong, because a lot of the context has since been removed from YouTube. All I know is the symbiotic nature of all parties involved meant that this particular argument, debate, conversations was always going to persist, because there's no version of this where one person will back down regardless, although Chantal deleted everything, including the community posts. As far as the YouTube drama side of her month goes, Chantal yet again tried to put her neck out to speak her mind, but because she's content farming with it, she deleted all of it once it was no longer relevant to her good girl image. But Chantal's mask can only stay on for so long. The same applies to her weight loss journey. The same applies to her live streams where she tries to make it into a show. Sadly, she lacks the energy, even though she has plenty of it built into her actual body, to create a show. I wish she'd take initiative with her content and try and make it more presentable. Some people use like those Streamlabs layouts. She should do the same. It would make her shows more interesting. It wouldn't remove the authenticity, by the way, Chantal, it would just make it more eye-catching. The substance is another problem you'd have to work on. And even in video form, when you try to respond to detractors who bring you up or Nada up, and please stop giving Nada any relevancy, guys. He doesn't deserve it. You seem to lose your way very quickly and are ill-prepared to properly answer, and that's why I chose the clips I chose. Because even though you have consumed this material and made a video on it, you've clearly not thought about it or written anything down to cite, which would make it a lot easier for you to make points. I don't know why I'm giving you advice after all these years on YouTube. The fact you still can't do something as simple as stick to the point, or perhaps have a suitable answer that isn't you getting very defensive, or you gaslighting everyone involved, including other parties, is amazing at this point. You may have noticed I haven't yet featured any clips from live streams. Part of me is torn as to whether to bother on this month, because in truth, it's the exact same thing time and time again. The videos offer a vague insight into her life once you read between the very, very wide gap lines. The live streams where she is what you dub unfiltered, yes, okay, that's where the purchases are made and that's where the receipts come and that's where all this drama originates. But I'll be honest, it's the exact same thing time and time again, isn't it? So perhaps I'll play some of her greatest hits here before we finish this month.
Cookie Milk, actually, just because maybe you're ignorant, I am doing well right now. I'm on track. I haven't ordered out. I haven't binged out anything. I'm cooking my food. I'm eating real food. Thank you very much. I'm starting there. That's good for me. Thank you. I hate when people like it. Nothing is ever good enough for people. I don't have to please anybody but myself. Okay? Thank you.
Look at yesterday, all the people salivating whenever, they thought she was gonna be doing something big on Kick. What, she used the C word a couple times and said the same shit over and over.
My foot's black. It's gonna be cut off next week, that's why.
It's not off to a good start. What the Hold on. Maybe I'm too fat for it.
And Bae, you can go get me a Oreo sugar-free Pepsi at the Bacala.
People need to grow up. I don't want any more immature 25-year-old people coming in here just to
and the trashy trolls.
get a rise. Yeah. Oh yeah, sure, Anita, you idiot.
Come on, trolls, show yourself so we can give you the forever block.
Yeah. Goodbye. Bye, Anita. Go f yourself. Yeah, I did my walk today. I listened to my music, and it was more fun. No offense, I don't really like going live and doing the treadmill much, because I might do it once in a while. Hey, Ted. Because I like listening to my music. Not that I don't like Salah's music, but I don't like paying attention to the chat and talking while I'm walking and just, She deflected with old Natur drama. Which the camel, what Salah's watch, he's going to do a live stream now because you mentioned.
I'm going to offer a summary because the clips from the streams are far too voluminous, as Chantal is committing to this health journey that she fails on. As the month progresses, she gets angrier and angrier. Now this could be because she was sticking to it, and because of that wasn't eating as much as she wanted, meaning she decided to lash out at others. She, for the most part, was the one to instigate much of the drama by bringing into the discussion people that had nothing to do with it. That's not to say other parties are innocent, by the way. They're really not. But I could believe she was super hangry and acted out because of that, to then undo all the weight loss she had claimed to have done over the course of the month, and this is the end result of it. Another month of absolutely nothing to show for it. Story of her life, as it were, and something she should be well and truly not remotely proud of. We're going into the final stretch of this particular version of the end of year review. I do apologise, this one's more relaxed, but let's face it, at this point, I'm starting to burn out if you can't tell. Hopefully November's improved. I know I've missed a lot, but let's face it, even if this video was an hour and a half long, I'd still miss at least 5 hours worth. Story of Chantal's ridiculous excuse for a life, isn't it? So we finally entered into the last month of this year's end of year review. Of course there will be a complete version next year including December. That's future Meg's problem. especially after the rip-roaring success of this year's one. I made in November 2 videos covering 2 separate dramas that Chantal managed to create for herself. But the first thing I want to do is go and look at their holiday videos, because it's their anniversary, Chantal and Salah's. So it seems only right we go to the couple's channel, where a number of videos were released showing the holiday park they went to. Now, of course, I'm a little judgy. I did review these, the videos that is, on Moistski Live, and I was a bit of a dick about it. I was, though, impressed that Chantal was willing to go and do this, considering it was quite cheap. Surprised she doesn't do it more often. Now, owing to literally every single YouTube video downloader deciding not to work on the day I work on this video, I can't play the clips from those that I wanted to play, because every time I record something on OBS to run it through this as well, my editor decides to crash. I'm at an impasse. But it's okay, guys. We have Twitter.
Oh yes, the AC.
So we're gonna rest and catch you later, guys.
Bye. Are you alright, babe?
Oh my god, I'm melting. Unfortunately, it's sunny day today, but it should cool off in a couple of hours.
Oh, inshallah.
Hope so.
In the meantime, we do have AC, so it's an AC room of sorts.
So we are lucky here.
Yes.
You can see how flushed I am because, yeah, it's really hot. We're gonna hang out in the AC room until the sun goes down a bit, and then we'll prepare the barbecues and things.
Yeah, I can't wait for the barbecue.
Yeah, we haven't eaten yet, so we're just gonna have some snacks here. I'll show you what we're gonna have.
Yeah. Some croissant.
Basically, it's far too hot for them to exist. So yes, they're hiding inside a metal box with AC in it until it's cool enough for them to go outside and eat small. Now, they do give you a little tour around the place, and it is clearly meant for more people. And it is quite nice, actually, if you ignore the metal shack storage container unit for bathrooms and the kitchen. The living areas are beautiful, the fire pit especially. I think that's fantastic. But this part tickles me, as does this bit.
He didn't like marshmallows. I don't like just eating a marshmallow like
You
cold.
are my marshmallow, babe.
Thanks, babe.
The only other part of note was the following.
Oh my god, it's squeaky as hell. Look how it's squeaky.
Help! Help me get up! Help me get up!
Babe, you cannot move?
No, I'm stuck!
Oh my god, she's stuck. Wait, let me help her.
I'm stuck! Help! I want to.
How? Oh my god. Okay, I helped her here.
Now, again, before I get to the 2 videos I did make, I need to talk about something else. As you all know, Chantal has a cat, Julia. This cat has no discernible age based on her claims, which is a load of nonsense because you can, in fact, with an experienced vet, ascertain the age of a cat. Chantal has been putting off for quite some time getting her cat neutered. This persisting problem, coupled with her clear and obvious past of animal abuse, has led to many accusations and angry messages and commentators hurling vitriol at Chantal for failing her pet. Eventually it culminated in her, Julia that is, being scheduled to be spayed at some point near the end of October, or was it early November? You know, it doesn't matter, because Chantal didn't do it. Her reasoning for it was that it was the haters' fault that this didn't happen. I wish that, by the way, was a joke, but when it comes to Chantal, she does live through the eyes and the lenses and the brains, and lives rent-free in their heads as well, of her haters. Because of that, she will never, much like Amber, make a positive change to her life. Because she lives rent-free, they live rent-free. It's symbiotic, but they live rent-free in her head. And because of that, she is unable to get things done that need doing. Of course, the greatest concern is when Chantal finally concedes defeat and goes back to Canada, what happens to Julia? Kuwait is hardly known for animal rights. Now with that out of the way, we're going to skip over all the community notes, all the live streams where she hurled abuse, ABUSE, at her haters, and focus on the 2 videos I made that do cover these. The first of which is just hilarious, the second is even better because it concerns Shani. Who would have believed Shani, for Christ of all people, would still be alive and kicking on YouTube in 2024? We're going to take a look at what Chantel's been up to. Her end-of-year reviews will be dropping on the 3rd of December, 4th, 5th and 6th. Because yes, it has to be a four-parter, because while she doesn't really achieve anything, she does and causes a lot of problems. So does a lot of things, causes a lot of problems. More recently, she went on an anniversary vacation with her husband. No offense intended here. Your audience had to remind you when your anniversary was, because you'd forgotten, and if you're really going to spend some quality and intimate time with your husband, we can air quote around the word husband if you wish, your extra, recurring role star, okay, it would probably be advantageous to have that authentic relationship away from the cameras. On top of this, there is an ongoing issue with her right now concerning her cat, because her cat's in heat and she hasn't had the cat spayed. Julia. She has a cat. Give it time, I'm sure that cat will find its way to Canada anyway, because she's gullible and others need to make calendars. On top of this, Chantel has been partaking in her weight loss journey and failing miserably at it. So much so that there is a way in the more recent video we're going to take a look at. Along with talking about her cat, there might be some mention about her anniversary holiday. I saw pictures of her kissing Salah. She wasn't. She was kissing the Jason Voorhees mask. It's about as close as she's ever gotten, I'm sure. But also she spends an inordinate amount of time in this video. Inordinate, that's it. Far too much, copious amount of the video dunking on FFG. Because she really needs to stop talking about FFG, to stop giving FFG ammo. Will Chantel do it? No, of course not. Symbiotic relationship 101. You need to keep feeding them, so they keep feeding you. You're not going to get your nashies any other way, are you now?
November 14th.
Now, for those who have been paying attention to Chantel's attempt at a weight loss journey, while there is some consistency to her uploading the weighing part, although at the same time it is argued that she does not weigh so little as 155 kilos, she has been hovering around the 155 mark, allegedly, for quite some time. Now, she's a little bit older than me, so I'm inclined to believe there could be some truth to her weight. There really could be truth, because of the way gravity works as we get older and the fact her muscles, her core muscles especially, have never been put to any use. So what hangs over the top of it is slowly going towards the ground. When I did a stream on Moisky Live recently concerning Amberlynn Reid, I pointed out that she is getting closer to 600 pounds. She's also getting closer and closer to looking like a macargo, because of how gravity is treating her quite badly, and she's only in her early 30s. But for the sake of it, I do not believe that that is the correct weight for Chantel.
So today is weigh-in Thursday. Because, well, Wednesday was yesterday, and I was just still too exhausted from the camping trip, unpacking and yada, yada, yada. And so, yeah, that's that. I'm kind of sore, like sleeping on the sofa, sleeping on the ground, you know, did a toll kind of on my sciatica.
Part of me is a bit curious, because the video with the anniversary camping trip was uploaded to the joint channel, Salah and Chantel. Videos over there do horrendously today. The video's been up for nearly a whole day. It's got 3,000 views. Chantel would have been better off putting that on the main channel, but she won't, because she wants to maintain the facade of this prim, proper, super clean, totally not filthy Canadian Muslim revert. Reality is, it was all completely staged. She probably did spend the time in the tent and had to do it all herself to pack it and put it away and come back. But it's also possible she was doing this in a car park, because it's Chantel. I could imagine Chantel would do that. You might notice she seems a little peeved. Yeah, it's because she had to put some effort in to get home, if she can call this prison that she resides within a home. And I don't just mean her body, I mean the place she's chosen to suffer in.
Anyway, there's no place like home, right? There's no bed like your own bed. Your bed could literally be a piece of cardboard, but because it's your bed, you love it. I don't know. Anyway, the human brain is weird. So, as you saw from my weigh-in, I think I'm up a little bit from last week. I'll post last week's weigh-in here as well. So, I mean,
I don't know why she's still doing this charade. Whether it be the charade of being a Muslim revert in a fake marriage, constantly border hopping because visa. the additional charade of her weight loss journey. She weighed less when she was in Canada before Nada. I think she weighed less when she was with him as well. Because, you know, snow. You say no place like home, bed, blah blah, lots of lip smacking and the word anyway. You're trying to be flippant in how you present yourself, to seem like this is a Dear Diary. You'd be better off doing a captain's log after a rather lengthy cleanse.
I'm not surprised because I've been on and off, you know.
Well, it is often said it takes 21 days to truly impact a meaningful change in your mindset and your habits. Every diet you've tried, every change to your lifestyle you have attempted to make, has lasted 1 day before you've blamed your sciatica, before you've blamed digestive problems, satiety, bad mood, blah 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 blah, and something else. Everything's an excuse. Nothing is ever committed to or resolved. It's never easy, and as we all know, anything worth doing is rarely easy. But the only thing you're willing to ever commit to is the one that hurts you, because you need to stick it to everyone else to make it seem like you're better. Because you were never loved enough, apparently, in your mind.
Mostly going over my calories a little bit each day. Not too bad. That's why there's not like a huge gain or anything like that.
The thing here is, and it's been said multiple times over many years, for you to only go a little bit over your calories, your weight would still come down. This would only be true if you were only going over your calories that maintained your weight. And this is important. You are not active, you don't hit 10k steps a day, we know that. You don't do much anywhere really, because you blame your diminished health and multitude of blessings from Nurgle as a reason, excuse, for why you can't get anywhere, why you don't make any discernible inroads. To maintain your weight, as proven by the likes of Shikara transformations, you'd be eating over 3,500 calories a day. All the chicken in the world, low calories, sure. The weight of it, though, certainly plays a part. But you're eating other things. Fast food is a given.
And I haven't been doing the treadmill. I haven't been just really on track as much as, I'd like to.
Within that, there is a truth and there is a lie. You have been off track. You do not want to be on track. No offense intended, Chantel. You are in your 40s, I believe. You are so set in your ways and have been for over a decade. I do not believe, no one believes, it's why many of your comments are telling you this, that you ever want to be anything but this. You want to present as someone trying, but after many years of these claims at trying, you have amounted to nothing. I'm going to move on from your nonsense about weight and skip over to conversations concerning your cat.
You know, hi baby! We're gonna get to your update soon. Yes, we are.
On to Julia. People have been coming for me with pitchforks over the fact that I haven't spayed my cat yet. Julia is, we don't know her exact age. We adopted her from somebody who I think got her from someone else, who I think got her from the street.
What I really like is when a good pet owner goes out of their way to make sure they have accurate information about their cat's health. This is where I live, where you come from, is vital, because we make it a point to make sure our animals are not only registered, but to make sure their medical history is accounted for. We're very thorough with that, and I think it's very important. You're in an area of the world where animals are regularly discarded on a whim, where they are lesser beings, something which I don't care for in the slightest. Then again, a lot of how you treat your pets is trivial, tokenized, as if they are trophies to trot out when it suits you. I was curious who was looking after your pets while you were away, actually, because I don't know who it was. And people were coming for you, yes, because you were moaning about your pet in heat. You were doing nothing about this. In fact, you've only kowtowed and bothered to get your animal registered and set to be spayed now because of the backlash you received because you aren't looking after your pets. A repeat of the old days.
That's what we think. That's our opinion on it. I don't know for sure. We don't know her exact age, blah, blah, blah. So we think she's probably close to 2. Maybe 2 years old, close to 2, I don't know. But when we got her, she was still too young to spay, is what they told us. They didn't spay her yet because she was still too young.
In the United Kingdom, to stop a female cat from having kittens, the operation known as spaying can happen before she turns 4 months old. No offense intended, but your cat was not 4 months old when you got her. She was older. The best age to spay a cat is between 5 and 6 months. You've had plenty of opportunity, even with all your border hoppings and doing literally nothing, to get your cat properly treated. As far as gauging the age of a cat, there is actually a way of doing it. It's not too dissimilar from the rings on a tree. But for a cat, you approximate the age by examining the teeth, eyes, fur, and overall maturity. Teeth are the easiest ones though. Eyes are a giveaway when the lenses get denser after the age of 6 or 7 years old. That happens to humans when we hit 40, okay? The lenses get denser. So it is possible to work out the age of a cat if you care enough to get this done. You don't. I say this as somebody who has had a stray cat in his home and has worked out the age of a cat. It is not difficult. You could do it, by the way, yourself, if you could be asked.
When we first brought her to the vet, they advised to wait a little bit. And so, yeah. So because we didn't know her definitive age, we didn't really know when she would be going into her first heat. So that combined with we weren't keeping track really, I guess.
It's strange for somebody who has no real life. It's strange that you have a cat, you spend no real time with it. You have a hamster as well, and the same applies here. You have nothing going on beyond trying to find a way to get out of the situation you're in, and you can't bother to do that either. You just sit around watching all of those that hate you. You are like Amber in that respect. You have far too much time to do nothing, and you watch those that hate you, so you have free content. Because eventually you do lash out at those that you despise and love at the same time. There's no point saying you don't. I've maintained a stance consistently for over 2 years. You really do love your haters. One, very much so.
Sunday, she'll be getting spayed.
This took about 3 minutes to get to because Chantal likes to talk about all the things that she apparently did to help her cat get through this, to get them up to a stage where they could then be spayed. Just the thing, because this is hilarious to me. I've never seen someone look so annoyed they've had to go out of their way to help their cat. You're not the type to shut them in a room and leave them there, are you? Because you look the type.
So, that's it. So all this bullshit is coming from a horrible parasitic community. And the queen of the hive, apparently, I don't know, this is alleged because there's a lot of trolls, there's people who just say things that are not true. Imagine that. They left a comment on my channel, I'll post it here, basically that apparently this cult leader of who's making, her and her audience are making this, she looks like someone's greasy Uncle Bob, but technically, biologically, she's a female.
I see we found our way to the comments concerning FFG. Not going to say anything for or against FFG, by the way, because I know I have far too many people who support FFG, and that's totally fine. You support whoever you want to support. I'm just going to present the information as it is and enjoy the inevitable back and forth arguments that take place, because I'm a shitlord. I don't care. I only care about the cat's well-being. I do not care about the two people arguing over the cat's well-being.
So this female queen of the hater nation of Gore World, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. Her and her the Jim Jones of Gore World.
Be sure to drink the Kool-Aid, zombies.
Her and her cult zombies. That's where that's all coming from, that hate about her not being spayed.
Just the thing, because I'm going to be a bit pedantic, it's not hate about your cat not being spayed. It is criticism because you are not being willing to do what is right by those around you. Far too often and for far too long you put yourself above all else. That is the problem. If you cannot see that because of the haters from chances are you can't see that from time to time. Even those that despise your existence, although I think they all love you to bits, to be honest, even they can be right about something because the principle of animal abuse has to be properly addressed. You must be better. They may hate you or love you, whichever you prefer to call it, but they're still right, regardless of how it is presented.
So someone left a comment that they have a dog, this person has a dog, and apparently is having its first heat, so not even spayed at all. So, you know what? I don't even know if I believe this comment because it's just too, unbelievable. Like, that somebody would be that hypocritical. But at the same time, I do believe it, that this person could be trying to come after me, send a mob after me for my animal not being spayed when theirs themselves is not, because that's how Gore World works.
If that is how World works, why bother engaging with it when you know then, by the logic you present as theirs, you can never receive any gratification, praise, commendation, you get only negativity. You know you can never win. So why are you bothering to waste 6 minutes of your entire video moaning about hypocrisy of a community that exists because of you? Why are you so obsessed with it? It's so symbiotic, honestly. I love it because of the hilarity and the hypocrisy. Of course I do. But you are enabling, and you're still trying to, which is great. I'm going to end this video here because you carry on going on about FFG and those haters for far too long. I fully expect this video to be deleted, and this video is basically the following. You've made no discernible progress on your weight, because imagine my shock. Your cat's not been done yet and won't be until Sunday, and you're only doing it because the internet has bullied you into doing it. Oh, and your haters of world exist, so you must now let them know you're paying very close attention to them.
So, people on the internet like to get on my case on the daily about what I eat, my weight, my body, etc., etc.
I've only done, I think, one video on that person, Shani for Christ, so this has intrigued me, because I didn't think they would fall apart, especially because, and I noticed it over the course of this year, Chantal has been active in Shani's live chats. I think she's donated to her as well a few times, if memory serves. So there is there a bond, mutual respect. Most obvious common factor they both have, beyond being super morbidly obese and blaming the entire world for the situations they're in, is the fact that both of them hate children. In the case of Shani, it's documented. In the case of Chantal, it's glaringly obvious. You can add to that, because if they can't look after children, there's no way they can look after a pet. You can add the treatment of their respective pets and their partners. In the case of Shani, obviously baby carrot peen. In the case of Chantal, it's oddly proportioned carrot peen. I don't think I've ever seen something that's meant to look like a bit of an arrow, because you can tell from the shape that the tip is actually thinner than the thickness of the stem itself. That's strange. Anyway, we're going to be diving into this because Chantal made a video. Now, I fully expect this video to be removed at some point in the near future called Obese Women Being Hypocrites for 10 Minutes Straight. This is fun. We should dive into this. It leads on to Shani's. Don't worry, guys.
Let me tell you what is wrong with them criticizing my weight and eating habits. First off, they offer no valid criticism. All they do is spew hate and self-projection. Let's start with Yaba from the YouTube Underground. This reactor decided to do her reactions off screen. Now, it is my firm belief, and that's just me, that if you are going to talk shit about someone's looks, you should have your camera on at the very least.
So the problem here is you are not the arbiter of what is or is not valid criticism. Because you've already dismissed it all criticism, all that is levied at you as invalid criticism, you have shown your arrogance, your pride, inability to introspect. Then you fire a shot at those who don't go on camera. Now, when it comes to the detractors of world, your haters, there is a point about hypocrisy that you like to latch onto. It's the only point you latch onto. It's a deflection. The criticism isn't where it comes from, it's whether or not they are right. This is a point Chantal never understands. I know I've not got to Shani yet, and it's important, but I wanted to put this in first. I should also point out that at least 2/3 of this video she put out is about Yaba and then gets to Shani. The Shani stuff, though, is mwah, 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 mwah. Oh, yeah.
But oh wait, she did cam up very, and emphasis on the very, briefly, not too long ago. So here's what we saw. Puffy, red, fat face. A clear indication of obesity. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but according to science, one does not acquire such a physique from eating 1,200 calories a day.
She does eventually play clips of Yaba talking smack about Foodie Beauty and some clips from Your Mama. I just wanted to include this because the latching onto that key point is all that Chantal has, because she refuses to acknowledge where the good criticism, the valid criticism, resides. She's also not the arbiter of truth, because she can never seem to tell it. We're now going to skip ahead and go straight to the Shani related commentary, because this stuff, you're going to enjoy this. I hope. Smash the like.
Alright, let's cleanse our palates from that shit and move on to another hypocrite. Shani for Satan. This woman has too much of a history to go over, such as child neglect, making OnlyFans content while her autistic son is in the other room, and also taking back the man who her autistic child after he got out of jail for doing so.
Even before anyone makes the obvious points, yes, Chantal is 100% a hypocrite when it comes to only Fupa Fiber, a failed adult film actor, and there is an argument I saw on Twitter of Nada. There's a point there as well. There really is a point when it comes to what he did to Chantal, although it is also claimed that no, actually, he didn't. Chantal herself kind of debunks her old claims of this, further leaning into the whole Chantal really can't tell the truth thing. Yeah, her shtick is quite consistent in that respect.
But the real creme de la creme is when she recently went on a rant about my dieting and eating habits, claiming she is working on herself and I am not doing anything to help myself.
Lol. Way to bite the hand that feeds you there, hey Shani? I could have sworn Chantal donated money to you guys at least once. The thing here is, and it's important, we know Shani's a liar, so we know what she says is hollow when it comes to her own health. Is she wrong about Chantal? No, she's not, and I'm not now saying they're both as bad as each other, because that's stupid and naive. One is clearly worse than the other, but it's up to the individual based on the information to hand to choose who they think it is. I've always considered Shani worse as a mother, but Chantal worse as a dietary expert. I end up picking her partners.
Shani, you literally cannot stand up. You cannot wipe your ass. You sit there all day making excuses yourself as to why you are too disabled to take care of your own children.
I think you'll find, actually, the reason why is because me fine, bro. Chantal, though, just to be clear, is right about what she's now just said about Shani. 100% correct. And I know someone might now say, but Chantal can't stand up for long. You're right. But we've seen Chantal stand up. We've not really seen much lower body movement from Shani, because even when they did the only Fupa Fibro failed adult film actor stuff, and she was giving Rev's BCP a jolly good going over, she was sat down and he was stood up on something. He was stood on a stool or an armchair or something, wasn't he? Was it in the bathroom? I can't remember these days.
Meanwhile, I've seen women in wheelchairs with no limbs take better care of their kids. You have zero room to educate anyone on any type of care themselves or pets.
I know, there's some hypocrisy in here. Please resist the urge, guys, because this drama, it's going to generate a lot of attention for people, which is great because the clicks are required at this time of year. We're about to enter the Merry Meggy month of Moistmas, but she's not wrong. That's the point. Shani has, and we've done a video on her before, a terrible track record. Terrible. It was a content constable, wasn't it? It was, yes. It didn't do very well. But the point still stands when it comes to what she has said. You can ignore the fact that Chantal is, in her own way, a hit in certain key areas. She is not wrong about her attacks on Shani. I do question whether or not this is done solely to generate attention, in the sense of Shani started it for clicks, flippantly, and Chantal bit back because opportunity, but then this wasn't the main focus of her video. The main focus of her video was less Shani, more Yaba. She's pigeonholed Yaba and Shani together. She could have made 2 videos out of this. Now I really am curious about the motivations.
Right.
Oh, I need to have my snacks. I need to have my snacks. I need to go and eat. I need to go and eat.
See?
People need to eat, then eat properly. Or shut the f up about this diet and shit. Because what you're doing is you're damaging people. And you're giving false information out to people who are actually trying to fix their lives.
She's trying to fix her life.
There's me talking to you now, Chantal.
I love that the only way Chantal can consume anything related is through your mama. It's always your mama. Fam, we know you sit here and obsessively watch this guy's content. No problem with that at all if that's how you consume content. But Shani has a channel. I know the streams are long, but if it matters to you enough, you can go there, OBS record it, and do it yourself, right? Clip the stuff out of it if you need to. But you really are low energy. This is, it's only the beginning part. I know that when it comes to Shani, a lot of what she said, or says, rings hollow because she's never really committed to her life. Everything is about what holds her down. Nothing is about how she's going to pick herself up. Because she's a victim, she needs cigarettes and she needs money. Sometimes she's even more of a grifter than Dark Side Phil.
All you do is f***ing eat, Chantel. You don't try to take care of yourself. You're on a f***ing diet for 2 days that we know of.
Okay.
While you're getting chips every couple days.
She's checking
getting
out.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Slathering all your food in cream, cheese, butter. And neglect. You neglect your own ass.
Uh-huh.
So, do you think that just because Chantel's right, that Shani is wrong? No should be the correct answer to that. Both can be correct when it comes to flinging turds at one another. Chantel has been neglecting herself and failing to commit to her own health for years. And the fact Chantel's first response is to play a Your Mama clip, rather than simply accept the fact that Chantel is right, but she's also, when it comes to Shani's criticisms of her, wrong. It would help her, but much like when I did my first Content Constable and she agreed that I was right about things, she was never going to change. That's kind of her thing. And I don't believe at this point in Shani's life she could ever change either. Both are stuck in a perpetual loop of bleh and suffering, of course. Everything's pain. They are all me-seeks.
Every day you're neglecting your ass. Every day you're not taking care of yourself. Every day you're giving your audience excuse after excuse and after excuse, and giving people who have actual problems false information and putting their lives in danger.
Now, because I haven't seen Shani's stream, I have to theorize why that clip even exists. And part of me thought it was because perhaps Shani sat there watching Chantel and seeing just how much Chantel can do and put in so little effort to get. Whereas Shani believes she's putting in phenomenal amounts of effort for very little return. So she can't eat or live like Chantel can. That's what I thought anyway. Back to Chantel though.
That's rich coming from you, Shani. As rich as the butter and cream I use in my cooking.
The laugh was fake, your script reading is lead, and your flex is weird, but okay.
Alright, now the most obvious fat hypocrite of Gore World is none other than the potato girl herself. Another moron hiding behind an avatar, too scared to show herself for the past couple of years. But again, she did very briefly show herself, and this is what we saw. Well, the picture speaks for itself, and I'm sorry, but I will not listen through her stage 5 emphysema voice to point out obvious hypocrisy.
Because of your live stream format for most of your content, you struggle to be what is often dubbed witty. Your main point about them not being seen on camera is a massive distraction from who you are and what you do. You think that they should also have a leg to stand on. That's not necessarily the case. I do think there should be some legitimacy to it, of course. But not everyone can be a skinny queen, like me, of course. And go figure you would find a way to insert FFG, your biographer, into this video in some way. Now, you don't talk about Shani anymore, so I want to go to a response from Rev, because boy oh boy was he a happy chap.
Chantal, so I have been nothing but kind to you, blessed your husband that's into f***ing scat and on Christian women and putting his disgusting Muslim ball sack on crucifixes around people's necks and Bibles in front of them.
I'm going to apologize for all the random moments of audio cutting out. I have to pick my battles. YouTube are not overly fond of profanity, so we have to refrain from it at every opportunity. Sadly for us, unfortunately for us, Baby Carrot is not someone that adheres to the rules because he's above them. But do admire this tryhard's white knighting attempt to defend his wife's honor.
I heard that your disgusting fat ass said that I, let's just say, used my foot to strike my son. False, you fat. Do you hear me? You won't find any report of anything like that in any police report or anything because that didn't f***ing happen, you fat. God bless everybody.
The silly thing here is, we know you have physically harmed your child. We know you have. You may now try and hide behind police reports. But I'll be honest, It was only because people couldn't get the police to you that this didn't happen. Your children, your child in particular, the special needs, needed, well, help, and you weren't helping. Your form of assistance was through aggressive negotiations. It was well documented on the channel you used to have. Your aggressive and reprehensible behaviour was evidence of it. Now, what did Shani have to say when she saw Chantel's video calling her out?
Oh, shame, shame, shame. I don't give a shit. She shames mothers and children all the time.
As we were nearing Christmas, or the Merry Meggy month of Moistmas as I call it, this timing seemed perfect for Chantel to drop something that would generate interest so she can get more views. Because while she dabs on others for the views they get, commenting on her and them not doing as well as she gets, her views aren't great anymore. For a long time in video format, Chantel averaged around 10,000 views. She's lost about 30%. Her channel barely grows, and there's no way it's organic because her viewership doesn't go up to reflect it. So she relies on the haters to make her relevant-ish. Everything is superficial as long as she can get her chicken royale while claiming she's on a diet. If I were to summarise Chantel's year for 2024, because I see no reason to go through every single community note, honestly, it's really not worth it at this point. I would summarise by saying everything is dependent on her engaging with her haters. The experiment of Q8, while continuing, has been nothing but an absolute failure. Her health has declined, her weight has gone higher. She's never truly committed because she takes too much for granted. She is not interested in improvement, she's only interested in being inflated. Her ego, that is. She abuses the filters, and she harms her own community. I'm not sure how many more years Chantel can continue with this. The couple's channel is dead, her main channel is dying. The bought and paid for subs did nothing to help her channel grow consistently. Her viewership never went up, in fact that's declined as well. She may well get by on what she makes from live streaming, but her live streaming format is embarrassing, ill-prepared, and lazy. Because of this lack of willingness to make more of a concerted effort, everything about her existence is akin to that of plastic. Aesthetically, it looks like it might be alright, but like the filters she uses, are overworked and worn out. And we've seen behind the looking glass when those filters fail. The real Chantel isn't just a mess, she's the mess you get in a bargain bucket of a Dollar Tree store. 2023 and 2024 have served as a great demonstration of what you can do to fail at everything you ever want to be. Chantel claims to want to be better, to be a good Muslim revert. She's brought shame on her claims to faith, so the faith by extension. She's publicly humiliated herself and those around her. She has failed to address any of the problems she has because they require effort. And she is continuing to do this under the guise of, but I'll keep trying guys, I'll keep trying guys, I'll keep trying guys. I fully expect in 2025 for Chantel to try semaglutide or Ozempic if she can get her hands on it in Q8. I expect her to try it because it's the next thing on her list to then not bother putting any effort in. And let's not forget here, if you look at her uploads video-wise, she would start a diet and within 2 days then upload a cheat meal mukbang that was the greasiest takeaway she could get her hands on. Because she's never been able to tackle the satiety problems or the addiction to food that she has. She always needs to do something. It's a shame she can't apply that desire to do something to helping herself. If she was able to do that, she'd actually have something constructive and productive she could do to occupy her mind to stop her from eating so much. But, much like many things in Chantel's life, she is not willing to make any change because to do so would fly in the face of what makes her who she is. And I think she knows, unlike Nicole Avocado, she does not have the capacity to pull an audience in when she is, or if she could ever be, stable. People only turn up because she's a nutter, and she knows that. So she plays it up and leans into it. It's why those that are dubbed the haters of the world exist, and they will always exist. As a final thing, I'd like to thank Leona, aka Wildling Darling, undoubtedly in the premiere chat, hi, for helping me compile the sources for this video. There is no way, with how much comes out because of world, and because of the vast number of streams she produces, or, uploads, whatever it is you call that, partakes in, there you go, that I would be able to make this video, the 4-parter that it is, at all. She deletes far too much, that includes the community notes, she gets into far too many fights, it is impossible to keep on top of. So for that, I am very grateful. And everyone should go subscribe. I think that concludes this, doesn't it? I think we've all suffered enough. I'm going to go get myself a drink. Ta-ta.